Hi, fifth grade. We are going to be looking at our lesson 98 today. And lesson 98 talks about temperatures. And so I want to review a few things before we talk about temperatures. First of all, when we talk about a temperature, we're talking about how hot or cold something is. And when we do that, it can be described in negative numbers or positive numbers. Remember, negative numbers just have the negative sign in between them. Positive numbers, there's no plus sign, but there's a minus sign or there's no sign. So if I said that it's 2 degrees below 0 or negative 2, 0 is always our point of reference. So many degrees below 0 or negative such and such, or so many degrees above 0, or just that number. So if it's 8 degrees above 0, we just say it's 8 degrees out. If it's 4 degrees below 0, we might just say that 4 degrees below 0, or we might say negative 4. Now, if we have a number line like this, we can use that number line to look at negative numbers and positive numbers and find their difference. For example, if I said that it was 10 degrees out this morning, and when I went to bed, it was negative 3. What is the range or the difference between the high and low temperature? So if I want to find the range or difference between the high and low temperature, I need to look at how long does it take to get from 10 to negative 3. And I can go backwards, and I can say, well, or forwards, I can say from 0 to 10. From 0 to 10 is 10, and from 0 to negative 3 is 3. So when I add those two together, it's 13 degrees difference between the high and the low that day. Okay? When you're talking about negative numbers, if you're subtracting, and this is just for your future reference, it's nothing about today, but it's good to know. So if I have 10, and when I'm finding a range, right, it's the highest minus the lowest. Range is highest minus the lowest, which is negative 3. Just like when we work with fractions, we're going to add the opposite. Add the opposite. So 10 plus 3 is 13. 13. Okay? When you're working with negative numbers and subtracting, if it's 10 minus a negative number, then you can add the opposite. Because that's basically what you're doing. You're saying there's 3 here, and you're saying there's 10 here. And so we add those together to get 13. Okay? But you can also just use our number line like that. Let's look at some other examples here. So here I have to look at what temperature I'm at. All right, right there goes across. Looks like I'm at negative 2. So I have negative 2, and the high temperature was 12. The high temperature was 12. So I want to find the difference between those. If I start at this and I look, I say, okay, I know it's 0 to 12 equals 12 degrees. If I'm starting at 0 and I'm going to negative 2, just like a number line, so all it is a sideways number line. If I go from 0 to negative 2, I'm going back 2 spaces. So I have 2 that I went back. And when I add those together, I get 14. So there's 14 degrees difference. Or like I said before, you can do 12 minus that negative 2, which is adding the opposite, and we get 14 degrees. Okay? You can use your number line. Go from 12 to negative 2. That's the other thing. Here's where I started. Here's where I ended. Here we go. I go 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I get 14 that way. Normally your number lines would have all the numbers on the same thing. Or you can just go jump 2 to 2 to 2, right? You know that. So let's take that out again. Let's erase those lines I just made. Okay. All right. And let's go back and do a little job with that. All right. So what if we say we're going to 12 to negative 2? We want to get to here. So we know that these are 2's, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There I get to my 14 that I was looking for. Okay? So just a review of how to get to that. I think we did that last year anyway. Not adding the negatives, but just we can use a number line situation like we have right here to find the answer. All right, next one. The highs and the low temperatures in a chart. We have all these days, this top row shows the high, the bottom row shows the low. It says, what is the range of temperature for the week? The range of temperature, so we want to find the highest number of the week, and we want to find the lowest number of the week. Doesn't matter if they're on different days, because it says for the week. So we want to look for the highest number and then the lowest number. So if I look across here, I find my highest number is 44. All right, so that's my high number. I look across here, what do you see as your lowest number? 18. All right, so we're going to take 44 minus 18. More on the floor, so go next door, cross out that 4 and make it a 3. Break that 1 apart, make it into a 10, so now I have 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 3 minus 1 is 2, so we have 26 degrees difference between the high and the low. Okay, find the high, find the low, subtract. Bam, our range. Okay, next question about this chart. What was the median high temperature for the week? 2 words, median and high. Okay, so I can forget about those low numbers. I just want to look at the high numbers, and I want to find the median. So if you remember, median is the middle number. So we want to organize them from least to greatest. Least to greatest. Okay, I have a 34. Do I have anything lower than a 34? I have another 34. So we can write that in there. Put my comma in between. I've used that. Use that. Now, 39, 44, 38, 40, and 41. Okay, 38 comes next. Then 39. Then 40. Then 41. And then 44. And I double check to make sure I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. Yep, I do. So now what's my median, my middle number? Pair them off so that we can find the middle number. And in this case, our middle number is 39. 39 is our median. Okay? Order least to greatest. Find the middle number. Bam, our median. All right, next question. What is the mode or the most often seen temperature of the lows for the week? So mode, most often seen temperature, low. Okay, so I'm looking at the lows. I put those in order. 18, 19, 20, 20, 20, 21, 22. Now you can probably tell just by looking at it that I put them in order from least to greatest so we can, just in case we miss something. So the median for the low temperatures of the week, what number do I have most often? Most often is 20, so my median for the week would be 20. My mode for the week would be 20. What about up top? 34, 39, 44, 38, 40, 31, 34, 41. What about the highs? What do you see there? Okay, if you gave me an answer of 34, you were correct because I have a 34 here and a 34 here. Every other number is different, so 34 would be my mode of the high. Okay, one last question. what is the average or mean of the high temperature for the week? The mean of the high temperature for the week. Now remember, average or mean, we add up the numbers and then divide by the number of numbers we had. So we have 34, 39, 44, 48, or 40, 40, 38, 34, 41. Another thing we need to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 34, 39, 44, 38, 40, 34, 41. Okay, have all my numbers written down correctly, and they don't need to be in order when you're finding the average. So we can start by adding numbers together if you would like, and then spreading them into, and then dividing them. So I'm going to do that. Instead of adding up the whole column here, I'm going to add up sets of numbers. So I'm going to take 44 and 40 and make it 84. And then I'm going to take 39 and 41 and add them together. 39 and 41, 9 and 1 is 10, carry my 1. 7 and 1 is 8, so I have 80 there. Okay, so that's done and that's done. I'm going to take 34 and 34, and that gives me 68. And then I have a 38 left. All right, a little bit easier to add now. 8 and 8 is 16, plus 4 is 20. 8 and 8 is 16 again, plus 2 is 18. 18 and 3 gives me 21. 21 and 6 gives me 27. 270 is what I have there. Okay, double check your work. 8 and 4 is 12, plus 8 is 20. 2 and 8 is 10. 18. 18 and 6 is 24. 24 and 3 is 27. Okay, so we have 270 divided by the number of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Divide that by 7. That gives us 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Subtract. Bring down that brother. How many 7s can we get out of 60? 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Subtract. And we get 4 left over, but we don't have 38 with a remainder of 4, right? So we have 4 sevenths. But we don't want to use 4 sevenths. We don't use that in temperature, right? We don't say, oh, it's 38 and 4 sevenths degrees out. So what we want to do is we want to take that 4, since it's 4 sevenths, we want to take the 4 and put it on the inside. Divisor is always the denominator. We add our 0.00. How many 7s can we get out of 48? We can get 5. 35. Subtract. Bring down that 0. How many 7s can I get out of 50? We can get 7. So it's around 0.57. So what we would do is round it up. So instead of saying 38.57 degrees, we would round that up to about 39 degrees. Okay? So if it's 5 or greater in that decimal column, we'd round it up to 39 degrees. But we could find our mean that way. If we ask about our mean low temperature, let's see about our mean low temperature. 20, 40, 60. We can have 80, 90, 100, 120. 8 and 2 is 130. 9 and 1 is 140. So we have 140 divided by 7. And we know how many 7s can we get out of 14? 2. And then we know that we could just add that 0 up here because it would have 0 remainder. And so 20 would be our average low temperature. 20 would be our average low temperature. Okay? All right. Well, that's the end of our lesson for today. You've got some examples on 640 of that. Just kind of go over your lesson practice too and see, see if you can get those answers correct. And that is our last lesson for this year. I pray that you have a great rest of your day, and you will hear from me next week. Blessings, fifth graders.